Hello everyone, welcome to another video. So today is Monday the 31st of March. It's the last day of the month and the first day of the week. Technically I would kind of consider this as being the first week of April's trading, as in we can count the last day of March because it's just a lot more cleaner. Right, so I'm just going to talk to you through some stuff that happened last week. I had a profitable week in the end, but I've been having a bit of trouble with coming out of trades too early, which unfortunately I did on Friday. So this candle here is where I entered for a short of 129.60. I had my stop loss at 129.70, and unfortunately I came out of the trade too early because I thought I was going to get swept, so it was my fault. This candle here, 1420, went to 67.7, and I came out in this candle here. So it probably would have been about here, you know, and it cleaned these tops. Because what were happening was, I took this trade, tapped into this area nicely, and then I waited again till 2 o'clock, and I think it was been off this candle here. So as soon as I saw that, I entered, and then we were getting rejection, and then it got to quarter past, flew up, and I thought, you know what, I think because of all this prior movement, I think I've just been caught in a sweep here. As soon as it came out, it just started going down, very frustrating. When it went down and back up and reacted, I actually left. I was already out of the house, because that's what I do if I've left a trade. I'll just leave and just so I don't revenge trade, you see. So the total pip count on that, can't count here because that is the end of the day, so we'll count it to here, would have been 32.5. So I ended up coming out at a bit of a loss. So here is my ACG challenge account. Now as you can see, the balance is, I'm 1% up. But as you can see here, for the month, I've done 6% because I had a really bad run at the start of the month because I was just trading gold and I was getting caught out left, right and centre. But then I switched it up, moved off gold, just trading gold, and went onto the currency pairs, mainly GBP, but some other ones as well chucked in there. And as you can see, that is where we kind of finished up. So it's a bit annoying because we would have actually been up, you know, well, 6% and nearly past the first phase of this, but we haven't. But it's just a good sign of things to come for this month. And that's the thing about trading, you just got to be able to know when you're doing something wrong, suck it up and change up what you're doing. And that's exactly what I did. So I did finish up profitable for the month, but we started off in drawdown. So let me just go back onto hourly chart. So as you can see, we're trading in between this area again, which we have been for a while. So 1297 is kind of the ceiling at the moment. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove all these so we can kind of get a fresh look. So here we are. So if we look at these pairs, this really is the top of the market at the moment, the 1297 area, because you can see it's only been swept once. So I'd get that one marked, it's definitely a key area. And another one which is pretty substantial I'm seeing is probably here, 1293, because even though we've swept it, it's to 1292, but we've held above that area for quite a bit of time. So you see here is the area, and as you can see, we've had all this time where we've held it, swept it, boom, held it. So I'm going to mark that at the minute, just so we can kind of get an idea of where the market's going. Because when you are marking up zones, initially what you're doing is you're marking them up to see what gets swept first and to see what gets closed above or under, so then you can start to look at where you want to enter, rather than if I was to put this all the way down here or here, you're just going to see it bouncing in between, and you're not really going to know where to end up. So it's good to keep it tight but not too much, if that makes any sense. You want to make sure you can at least get the reactions that you need, and these are the clear reaction levels, and then you can decide, right, let's zoom in a little bit. So we'll keep it quite simple today because it is Monday and it's the 31st, so we're going to do a bit more watching today, but this is what we want to look for, the reactions of these two areas, which is 1297 and 1293. Let's look at Euro. So this is the one I marked up on Friday, on the Friday video, but as you can see there's no entry there, but it did go up fairly high, but 44 pips, but there was no entry model at all. So the thing is, as I always say, it's easy to call out where price will react from, but the hard part is getting in at the right time, because you could go, oh yeah, I'll just get in, you know, and then you go whoop and just take you out, and that's the thing, you need the confirmations. So again, I'm going to clear all these off. I'm going to zoom more into it a bit more. So pretty clear here that 1084 is the top at the minute. We have had a bit more reactions further along the line, but at the minute that is where we're at. We got this high prior to that, which was on Tuesday. Didn't get respected, but this bit here has been respected. So where I'm going to mark next for our zone is at 108 dead. We've had this big reaction, a push through, and we've had a tap into it, but apart from that, it's just been a clean push. So we need to see, are we going to fill out all of this, because next after that we'll probably be going around this area, but this is the zone which we just want to see where we're reacting from, because it will determine where we're going to go and whether we're going to be bullish or bearish. So I'll just mark this 108 and 1084. Today's I'm going to be a bit of a quicker video because I'm mainly just marking up zones to look for reactions. I may trade today, but I may not. It's just purely to see where we're going to end up. This is the next reaction zone. Next, AUD. So it's a bit frustrating because I don't trade this, but can you see that candle there at 2 o'clock? We literally flew right down, and if you look at the last video, I marked that up as the potential short level. I even put this in, but I already trade this, so it's always good to keep an eye out on these videos and see, because I can call out these price points quite often. So if you look to your left, you can see this here, which was on the March. You see that reaction there and see that here. Now this is having some real push down at the moment. So the only point I can look at next is probably here, which is 62.4. If we do keep searching down, and the next point above that is 62.8. That's probably the zone I'd be looking at, really. It's good to zoom out a lot because you can see things. You don't even need to see the clearness of the candles, it's more just the grids, and then you can see where price is reacting. So this is probably where I'd be looking at here, 62.8, and I think it was 62.4. So again, we're just going to see where we react off these levels, and that'll determine where we could potentially go next. We just look for the next zone, simple as that. 62.4. So there we go. NZD, same thing again. This was valid, but the time was different. It was at 7 o'clock. Sorry, it was at 5 o'clock on Friday, so it wasn't exactly key. But again, we've had a reaction this morning at the same level. So I'm just going to get rid of all these again. We'll zoom out. It looks like could be fairly similar. See this here? Maybe we're searching for that at 56.8. So that's the next potential reaction level. And after that, I'm going to do 57.1. Which is here. Let's see where we end up on these. And for anyone who has used TradingView but isn't familiar with it too much, the best thing to do when you're doing the alerts is put once per bar, because what it does is every time one bar goes, it'll alert you. But then if you just click that, that's it, the alert won't go off again. So if you get another push up or push down, it'll alert you again and again and again until you cancel it. Here we are. So let's look. Gold is just crazy at the minute. I really don't know too much where to start. I'm just going to put the obvious top, but that's it really. Just see how far we come down. We might get reaction from this area here at 33,100. That's probably the next reaction. Actually, just remove that. But yeah, we're just getting, it's crazy to be honest. Just leave that for now. So I'll just mark this. But potential buys from here would be alright. Right, let's look at this one. Pretty good price action to be honest. Remember last week when we spoke about this area's been respected and we're looking for a sweep? Well, that's what we've got here. I'll remove these drawings. So this looks like it could possibly be another support level, which is, I think it's 88. If we do go back down, and then the next kind of reaction level, I would say look for resistance is at 88.3. I reckon this is the zone which we need to look at. So I will put an alert on at that. There we go, they're the two zones you want to mark up, 883 and 88 dead. USD CAD, again, key level. So it looks like this level here is going to get respected as a support level at 43.2. And I think the next level that we've got to look for resistance is 43.6. So I'll mark that up. I wouldn't be trading off these straight away, it's really just to see the reactions. It's not necessarily wait for a sweep, blah blah blah, it's just to see, these are kind of going to determine whether we're bullish or bearish for the day, today or tomorrow, or the start of April. So it's nice and simple one today, just going through a quick video. There we go, so this is a key level quite clearly, but we have taken out all this. So let's just redo this. JPY is quite interesting at the minute because it's going against the dollar in a way. So these pairs you've seen have gone up, but this one has gone down, which means the Japanese yen is strong. 150 is a pretty decent area. We're at 149.12, so that's a 100 pip zone. Let me have a little think. I'd probably give it a bit of a wider area on this one, because actually no, yeah, it's better. 1495 and 1485. I'd probably say if we can close above here and use this as new support, then we're going to be looking at bulls again. Lastly, we've got the dollar. So remember this box I was talking about? If we close in here, these are all going to be bullish. So that's why we found this happen Thursday, because we were going into that area and we saw this here, boom, and all this kind of bullish movement. That was kind of correlated with this. So that started at 12 o'clock on Friday, and then if you look at here, here 12 o'clock. See what I mean? 12 o'clock, boom, 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 and then at 2 o'clock we start to get the push down. I ain't checked. Let's see what happened at 2 o'clock. Yeah, it's interesting. 1, 2. So we're obviously slightly bit delayed, but when we got here in that box, it caught up, if that makes sense. That's why I started to see this. So yeah, we are trading in this zone now. I'm going to remove all this. 1037 is kind of standing out to me right now. And then we've got the support at 1034. So it's the same again really. We just need to see where we're going to break out of. We've got this new area now, which is, I would say, is going to get tapped into at some point, which is kind of this whole red zone here, which is the reverse of what's just happened. So let's just see if we end up in this zone at some point, which will be for bulls on these pairs, maybe excluding the USD JPY. So we've got 107, 1037. And 1034. And there we have it. So if you want to go through all these and just mark up these zones, and then just see where we end up in the next in US session. That's what I'm trying to say. We're in UK now. It's 9:30, so we're in the last hour and a half of London. Let's see where we end up in US. I'll just see what news is on this week. So we got this news here today. Nothing major. Pretty nice day to trade. And then April 1st, same again. But we've got 2 PM. We've got ISM. Which is actually quite good, I think, for the market to have something at that time rather than at R12. So there'll be a nice little build up until 2 PM. Then we'll get a big manipulation. Then we can trade after 2:30. Non-farm, that's quite early. That is early. CPI, unemployment claims 12:30. Again, that's pretty early. Friday. So we've got a lot of news this week. The first week of April is a lot of news. I'd say today could be a good day to trade. Tomorrow's a pretty good day to trade as well. Wednesday again. Thursday is alright as well. Just watch out for this. You've got 2 lots of news, so just wait for this news to finish. And then Friday's a lot of news, so watch out on that one. And then you've got an early speech from Fed Chair Powell speaks, so probably avoid trading on that day if I'm honest. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching. If you've got any questions or comments, or you want any videos doing, drop them down in the comments and I'll do them. Thank you very much.